Continuing the session of MCQ on multiplier and accelerator, this is a question which has appeared in 2019 June. They are asking that they have given investment value is given, government expenditure value is given, tax value is given, and they have also given the consumption function. Okay, now they are asking us to find out, this is a continuous question. Okay, what is the value of tax multiplier? So it's very easy, just take up the formula. Tax multiplier is what is the change in income that happens because of change in tax rates. Okay, so the formula of tax multiplier is minus MPC by 1 minus MPC. So we know in the question they have given MPC. From the consumption function we can find out 0.8 is MPC. C equal to 25 plus 0.8 YD, that 0.8 is the MPC. So it's very easy to calculate. Substitute that value of MPC and you will get the option minus 4, which is the answer, option 4. Right, next question. What is the value of government expenditure multiplier? So that again, government expenditure multiplier also, it's the same. Study the formula, that is K equal to 1 by MPS. MPS, we know MPC, it's given in the consumption function, right? 0.8. So just 1 by MPS is 1 minus MPC is MPS. So we just substitute it into the formula and we get the answer, option 1 is the answer, that is 5. Next, money multiplier is a ratio between, okay, changes in money supply to changes in high power money, currency with public and total money supply, changes in money supply and currency with public, and none of the above. So money multiplier is a ratio between money supply and high power money. Now what is high power money? High power money is basically the monetary base. Okay, monetary base which includes all the bank reserves, currency, notes and coin, everything held by the public. Okay, it's a base for expansion of bank deposit and creation of money supply. So these two are what creates money multiplier. Okay, so the option has to be 1. Next, a question which has appeared in 2019 December. For which of the following consumption function the value of income multiplier equal to 4? Okay, so they have given the multiplier and they have given the consumption function. We need to find out which consumption function has multiplier as 4. One thing you can do is that take all the MPC, that is in different consumption function there are different MPC like 0.5, 0.8, 0.75, 0.4. These are some of the MPCs. Take the formula 1 by 1 minus MPC and substitute each MPCs like 1 by 1 minus 0.5. 1 by 1 minus 0.8. Like that you can substitute it in each of the consumption function, find out which of them will bring K equal to 4. Or you can do this, just substitute it in the formula. As we already know the function multiplier as 4, K equal to 1 minus 1 by 1 minus MPC, 4 equal to 1 by 1 minus MPC. So we need to find out MPC. So we just do the basic calculation. That is 4 into 1 minus 1 MPC is equal to 1. That is 4 minus 4 MPC is equal to 1. Ultimately we will get the answer 0.75. Okay, which 0.75 is the MPC. Now go back and see in the question which consumption function has 0.75 as MPC, which is the option 3, that is C equal to 200 plus 0.75. Y has that answer. So that is one of the easiest way to find out the answer for this question. Or if it is too difficult for you, just do it for all the consumption function. Next question, 2017. Consider the following statement. Okay, which shows the relationship between MPC and APC. MPC and value of multiplier. Higher MPC, lower the value of multiplier. Higher MPC, higher the value of multiplier. MPC is equal to 1, value of multiplier will be infinity. Either you can study the relationship between MPC, APC and MPS and multiplier and all. Otherwise, you just substitute it in the formula. Only thing related to multiplier is that just study that formula 1 by 1 minus MPC. Then directly substitute it and see. Just give a number and see. If higher is the multiplier or lower is the MPC, just give a lower digit first to the MPC and try to find out the multiplier. Is it increasing or decreasing? Just give a lower value, just give a higher value and see how the multiplier behaves. So it saves a lot of time for you not to study too much of stuff. Just study one formula, apply the logic and try to find out. If MPC is equal to 1, value of multiplier infinity, put it into the formula and see 1 by 1 minus 1. What is the answer? Infinity. Will that be an answer? Just go for it. Okay, so the option has to be option 2, that is B and C, because higher the value of higher the value of MPC, higher will be the value of multiplier. As you consume more, there will be more demand. When there is more demand, what happens? There will be more investment. Producers will be having an urge to produce more. They will produce more. Employment will be more. Income will be more. More income, more MPC, more production. That multiplier effect will be more when MPC is more. So MPC consumption is more. When you have the propensity to consume more, then multiplier effect of multiplier will be also high. Okay, and option MPC is equal to option C is also correct. Option 1 is wrong. Okay, so the code here is B and C is the answer, which is 2. Okay, principle of acceleration is based on. So acceleration principle, as you might be knowing, it has been first propounded by Clark and then popularized by Keynes, which is just opposite concept to that of multiplier, where multiplier considered a change in income with the change in investment. Here it shows the change in consumption on investment. Okay, if there is an increment, or if there is a change in consumption goods or consumer goods, how is it going to affect the capital goods is what being shown in accelerator. So it is, everything is related to, once it changes in consumption, how is it going to change investment on capital goods is being shown through accelerator. So this delta I by delta C is being shown in accelerator. Okay, so changes in investment, how much due to changes in consumption has been shown through accelerator. So the answer is very easy, that is option 2. That is, demand for capital goods is derived from demand for consumers. So everything looks same. So you need to understand that when there is a change in consumer goods, how much of change is happening in capital goods. That means how much of change is happening in consumption, how much of change is being brought about in investment is shown in accelerator. So the option has to be 2. Next, we are moving on to the next topic, that is classical versus Keynesian model. Classical theory of employment is based on. Okay, classical theory basically has a lot of assumptions. The first assumption which they strive upon is Say's law of market, where they say that it's supply oriented approach, where they say that supply creates its own demand. Just produce, demand will catch up, is what Say's law of market says. Right, so it is another assumption is they believe in full employment, and they say that this full employment will be achieved through flexibility of wage and price. Wage and price will go up and down. They are flexible enough to bring about full employment in the equilibrium, and they believed in no government intervention. So going back to the question, Say's law of market, yes, classicals, almost all the theory of employment of classicals believed that in Say's law of market, which is basically a supply oriented approach. Existence of unemployment, they believed in full employment, which makes second one wrong and fourth option correct. They believe that there is no chance of unemployment. If there is some amount of unemployment, that is going to be a voluntary unemployment, where people are willingly not working. Okay, assumption of perfect competition, yes, they believed in a perfect competition where everyone knows everything. Free information, rationality was believed by classical theory. So here the answer has to be 1, 3 and 4 is correct, which is option B. 2. Say's law of market will operate provided there is. These are all assumptions of classicals, right? Full employment, yes. Perfect competition and laissez-faire. All of the above is the answer for this question. 4. According to classical economists, full employment will be ensured in free economy through. Right now I said full employment can be achieved through price and wage flexibility. So the answer has to be 1. Not through interest rate adjustment, not through money supply, not through demand adjustment. It has to be through price and wage adjustment. The answer is 1. Assertion is the classical model investment demand is regarded as autonomous of changes in income or employment. Okay, so classical model feels that investment changes because of change in income or employment. That is assertion. It is wage price flexibility that bring full employment in classical model. That is correct. Just now we have mentioned that they believed in full employment, which can be achieved through changes in wages and price. Coming to the assertion, in classical model, investment brings about, investment is regarded, demand is regarded on the basis of change in income, which is wrong, which is actually a statement of Keynes. Keynes believed that investment demand increases there is because of increase in income. It will lead to increase in income. But according to classical, it is productivity that will change, not income or employment, because according to them only nominal variables can change, not the real variable. So assertion is wrong and reason is true. So the option is 4. According to classical, saving is a function of, we know saving is a function of a rate of interest for classicals, and income it's for Keynes, right? According to Keynes, employment is a function of income according to Keynes. So Keynes basically has an income approach. His approach itself is called income approach. So you know that if any of the variables comes with an income answer, you can go for it. Effective demand, which is brought by Keynes, is determined by, we know what effective demand is, right? Effective demand is where aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply, where full employment can be achieved, right? So the answer has to be both 1 and 2. Which of the following according to Keynes is not correct? Unemployment is caused by deficiency of effective demand. An economy operates always at full employment equilibrium. Effective demand is determined by aggregate demand price and aggregate supply price. This is kind of repetition. We know that Keynes believed that the basic reason for unemployment is lack of demand. So the first one has to be correct. Okay, it cannot be wrong. Second, economy operates at full employment. No, according to Keynes, there has always been some amount of unemployment, right? That is why Great Depression happened, right? So option 2 has to be the answer. Option 3 is also correct, because effective demand is where interaction of aggregate demand and aggregate supply happen. That is a point where effective demand is being established. So the answer has to be 2, where he did not believe in a full employment equilibrium. He believed that there will be underemployment, there will be always involuntary unemployment in the economy. Okay, he didn't believe in this wage price flexibility which will bring full employment. He believed that wage and prices are not flexible like that. Prices can go up and down, but especially wages, it cannot go down because of the presence of trade unions. Trade unions will not allow the wages to go down. Upward spiral can happen, a downward spiral is very tough when it is. So when there is a rigidity in wages, there cannot be full employment according to Keynes. It's a demand deficient theory according to him, and according to him, unemployment happened because of deficiency of effective demand, and there can be overproduction. Okay, supply creates its own demand, cannot actually fit in. If that happens, then glut or overproduction will happen. If there is wage and price is flexible, then unemployment still happens in an economy, because wages cannot, if wages go down, what happens? People will not have income to wages going down means their purchasing power is going down, which automatically affect their demand. So demand will also go down. If demand is not there, producers will not have an incentive to produce. Why should they produce if there is no one is demanding their product? So they will employ less people, because their production is going down. Then they will lay off some people, or they will employ less of them. They will not employ more people, right? So all of this have the reasons which has attributed towards Great Depression according to Keynes. Okay, so the option has to be 2, where he didn't believe in full employment. Total sum of money or proceeds which is expected from sale of output at a particular level of employment is known as. So here they are asking the total sum of money or proceeds from sales. That means they are telling some kind of revenue from sales, right? So you know that aggregate demand curve is also considered revenue curve, and aggregate supply curve is considered as a cost curve under effective demand theory of Keynes. Okay, so aggregate demand theory, which is a downward sloping one, right? So that is what is he is indicating in this question. Downward sloping, as more employment is there, more wages, that means more demand. So aggregate demand is downward sloping, that means more revenue. And aggregate supply curve, which is from the part of suppliers or producers, initially it will be positive, and after a particular level it will be vertical, because after a certain level all the resources has been fully employed, so you cannot increase the supply after a particular level. So aggregate supply will have a shape like initially it will go upward, then it will go vertical to the y-axis. So the answer has to be 2. They are talking about aggregate demand price. Next is the match the following, where in list 1 they have given certain economists, and list 2 they have given certain interest version of these economists. Okay, Keynes, we know that it's how they approached interest is the question. So classicals believed that interest is a real phenomena, where Keynes believed that interest is a monetary phenomenon. We have seen this before. Wicksell is a new classical who believed that interest is both a monetary and a real phenomenon. Fisher said that interest is a non-monetary phenomenon. You can match it with list 1 and list 2. Okay, the answer will be 1. Classical dichotomy means there is some disjoint is happening between two markets. We need to understand which are those two markets. Is it commodity market or money market? Is it money market or capital market, or labor market, capital market and money market? Everything is being disjoint. Which one is the answer? So classical dichotomy, where they believed in flexibility of prices and wages. They believed in full employment, and they believed that full employment can be achieved through flexibility of prices and wages. Okay, any change in money supply is not going to change any of the real variables. It will only change nominal variables like money, wages, nominal interest rate. So real variables like output, labor, saving and investment, all of these things are unaffected with the change in money supply. So classical dichotomy basically means that two markets or real variables and nominal variables are completely different. They cannot be interdependent. That means independence of real variables from changes in money, wages and nominal variables is called classical dichotomy. So the answer has to be money market and capital market. Option has to be 2, where any change in money market is happening, any change in money supply happens, it will only change things in money market. It will not go to capital market. It will not change the real variables. So there's a disjoint interdependence of both this market. What are the two markets? Money market and capital market are disjoint. There's a dichotomy between these two markets according to classicals. Okay, and next we have MCQs on national income. These are some of the expected questions that you can expect from national income, okay, which we will consider in the next class.